understanding that you had to go through stretches without Jalen Duren this season, how well equipped are you to handle these next 2 weeks?
I mean, I hate to say it, but we've been here, so it's not something you want to be used to, but we've had it before. Bags is ready, Wise is ready, Stewie plays some 5, so we'll adapt and go forward.
Lonnie, you talked about this team overpassing at times, or at least turning down good shots.
Yep.
I guess as the season has gone on these last 2 weeks or so, have you seen any improvements with that, or are you still pretty frustrated with the
No, we miss shots. I wouldn't say overpassing is not something that I'm not even sure that's a phrase or term in my vocabulary. I don't know if you can. I think when guys are trying to make those kinds of plays, it's with good intentions, but we don't want to turn down good shots. Whether or not a guy is comfortable taking the shot, then he passes it, that's totally different than overpassing, I think. But again, we want our guys, when they have an open shot, they've worked on it to take the shot. And if they pass because they're turning down a shot, then that's when I have an issue, because it throws the rhythm of rebounding off and the rhythm of your offense off when guys don't take shots that are available.
And I guess to ask that a little bit better, you talked about this team needing to hit singles instead of going for home runs.
Yeah.
Is it okay to settle for the good shot instead of trying to get the great shot more often than not?
I don't. I mean, if you make it, you know what I mean? I come from the school of good to great. That's what we were all taught. Because over the long haul, good shots sometimes are contested twos. If you can get an open 3 and turn down a contested 2, I think you'll take that. But your point is well taken. When we have shots, it's a good shot for us. We got to take it, especially when we generate it out of the flow of our offense, or we generate it out of jailbreak. We want to take those shots. Now, if there's a better shot, we want to explore that too. But in today's economy, the way teams are switching and zoning, the first available shot is typically the shot you want to take, just because all the pace numbers and all that stuff. But we just want our guys to play free and take the shots that they work on.
Orlando's one of the top defensive teams. Isaac or Slugs tonight, they're a big part of that. What have you seen from them as a team that just made them so stout on defense?
I mean, they have continuity now. They're young, but these young guys have been together now for a few years, and you can see it. They have willing defenders, guys who can guard the ball. They play in multiple efforts, and they just line them up. If somebody's out, they bring somebody else in, and they just fit into their system defensively. A lot of their guys can play full court defense and get into your clock a little bit, and then they have big, strong guys who can switch. And like I said, they've been in the system now for a few of them now for like 3 years, and you can see the continuity. You can see how they help each other, and they kind of know the rotations. So it just speaks to what Jamal has been able to do with his staff and the continuity of keeping young guys in the same program.
Coach, I don't know if you mentioned this already, but the starting 5 for tonight?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do you mind revealing the starting 5 for tonight?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so a question on that. So a couple games ago.
You don't know me that well.
No, sorry about that. So the decision to go with Killian over Alsar a few games back. Can you talk about that decision and maybe some things that does that do you worry about hindering the growth of a rookie after playing 30 minutes a game, then goes to playing about 10 minutes a game? Mm-hmm. Just can you talk a little bit more about that decision and sort of what went into that?
Well, there's a lot more that goes into it than I have time for right now, but to your point, Killian gives Cade a chance to get off the ball. Asar is a developing player who's going to be really good, but when you're growing a program, gifting minutes is not something that we're going to do, especially when players need to grow and not make the same mistakes over and over again. I think every young player goes through it. We wanted to get more pace. Killian allows for that. We're going to allow J.I. to increase the pace. He's been really good lately at doing that. And, based on injuries and other things, Asar's time will, creep back up there. But every young player, in my opinion, when you're been stressed the way he has with minutes, they need time to process and learn. It's not a slight on him, it's just a part of his growth the way I see it.
Joe Harris is back, and he kind of was cold to start the season. What have you seen from him just in the last couple of weeks getting back, and are those shots starting to fall at a higher rate now?
Well, I've only seen him in workouts and in practice, so we'll have to see. But that's what he's done his whole career. His voice, his experience is really important to us, and so I got to manipulate the rotations a bit to try to find a sliver for him to get out there on the floor because he's important to the growth of our young guys. To your point, Joe can help someone like Asar, talking to him while he's out there on the floor with him, also playing the role of spacer and defender and being in the right spot. So I'm hopeful to try to find spots for him to get out there and help us.
With Durham being out, how much of the importance is rebounding going to be with the guards?
Huge. Guard rebounding is important to any program, and that's where Asar can help us. You know, we feel comfortable putting him at the wing spot just for rebounding because he rebounds out of his position. But with JD being out, it's going to be a big thing for us to make sure we contest and stay box out so we can get into our jailbreak.
To go back to Asar really quickly, I think I asked you before Memphis about his fouling, and then he didn't foul against Memphis, but he just didn't seem to have the, we'll make some special of it. It
Yeah.
seemed like he purposely played with his hands up. Obviously, he needs
It's
to
a
improve.
process, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to figure out how to wall up, how to be aggressive and not reach, and I think you can do both. The really good defenders in the league keep you from getting to a certain spot and force a contested shot. Where he was getting into trouble, he was allowing guys to beat him to a spot, and as a defense mechanism, he was reaching and getting into foul trouble. And we've talked about that. Like at some point, you got to draw a line and stop backing up. We had a number of those the other day, and we talked about it this morning.
So about a year ago, these two teams played, and it was a pretty physical game. There was, players going off the benches. I know you were in Phoenix, but do you think that might add a little bit more added motivation for this team, playing, and, how much you appreciate physicality in a game like this?
Yeah, I appreciate physicality, but those kinds of things can't be your motivation. We want to play to the legal limit. I don't want to put anything out there that incites anything other than winning the game. So I don't want to really get into that kind of stuff. I wasn't here for that. We play physical basketball. We're all competitive. Stuff happens, but I'm hopeful that was a one-time incident.
Coach, 2 of the last 3 games, you've had the lead go into the fourth quarter. How do you close out in the fourth and come out with some W's there?
Discipline, rebounding, all the things that you've probably heard before. We have to be more consistent in those moments and not have those slivers of whether it's 2 or 3 turnovers in a row. In the fourth quarter the other day, I think we were 1 for 8 from the 3, and Memphis was like 5 for 8 or something like that. So we got to make shots. It's not a unique formula. It's a formula that every team uses in the fourth quarter. You got to be disciplined, rebound, and you got to knock down shots.
Everybody good?
Thanks.
Thanks.